You watch Jose Morales here, great hitter. Now linear, what you would call linear, is as a player goes, you want to keep a couple things, you know, what we call square or straight. You want to keep your feet square or even. You want to keep your hips square or even, and your shoulders square or even. Okay, that was Rudy Arameo, the hitting coach for the Texas Rangers for many, many years. Now with the Chicago Cubs, that's his big thing. You want to keep square. So that's what they call linear. Okay. Now where the rotational comes in is you want to stay square or linear, because if you go off linear, for example, let's see somebody else here, for example. Okay, Ramos. Now watch. Now here's a good example. Now look at how his shoulders tucked way in. Okay, he's off of square. See his shoulder. Now watch as you start taking it back. See his hands start there. Where do his hands go? They go farther away from the pitcher. Okay, so now he's off of square. Okay, square would be his front shoulder more towards the pitcher. Now he's a really strong hitter, but you'd like him to be more even here. His hips are okay, and he's starting to get to square here. But see that, as you see right here, the top half doesn't match the lower half. So he's off line or off linear. Okay. So going back to Morales, or where's Morales here? Let's see what we have. There's Ramos. Back to Morales. Yes, then. Let's look at Plouffe here. Now watch Plouffe. Okay, this is very good. Now see, Plouffe stays linear. See that? He's been in the big leagues this year. You can also look at it by, if you're on the side, by reading the guy's number or his name. If his name disappears a little bit, like if that P on Plouffe were to turn in a little bit, you know, he would be off a square. Now the rotational, here's the problem with just saying rotational. Rotational is what they do after they see the ball and get ready to go. Now watch his back hip. Everything rotational starts from the backside. That's the difference. Some guys teach rotational from the front hip and the front knee. See, you don't want to rotate with that front side. The front side is pushed out by the back side. The back side forces the front side out. So the rotation part is made up of right in here with the hips. You've got to think back hip to the ball. He takes that pitch. Okay? Let's watch him again here. Here's another take. We got him on take mode a little bit here. Okay, see right there, we go back step here. Now, when he's reading the ball, now when he gets ready to swing, now the back hip is the big thing we want to watch. Now, does he force this thing early? Let's watch this here. What's his force? Now see, that's good right there. His back is forcing this front out. That's a good start right there. And look at it, it makes good solid contact, good level swing. That's important. Okay? Pops it up a little bit, but everything was good. You know, we're talking with these players, a couple grains of wood make the difference. But now as we get here, watch. If he were to lead with this, he'd pull off that ball. Because watch the catcher's glove. It's an away pitch. He stays on it, and look at everything's good right there. See how his backside is good. His backside makes the L. That's a good. His head is down. That's proper. So the linear comes in on your setup with your lower half being straight. Oops, my bad. Your lower half being straight. Hips, and I forgot one thing. Knees is important, critical, and the shoulders. Okay, that's linear. The linear has to be that way. If these things are opened up early, then you'll have trouble hitting any kind of off-speed pitchers or balls that are middle away. But as you can see, Plouffe does a good job of staying right there. His backside is the last thing that comes through, and that's the rotation. So when people talk, you know, linear movement, rotational movement, of course you have to rotate. I mean, that's an obvious thing. Nobody hits with just their arms, but the linear is about the setup. And right now, Trevor Plouffe for us here is absolutely linear. And he's got the big leagues this year, and that's why.
Would you call that balance as well?
Balance, yeah. See, you want your head to stay in the middle here, okay? See, you know, if you're a mathematics guy, it's all the triangle. See that? It's all uniform. You want to be able to hit in that triangle. And if you watch here as he goes around, the guys that can stay in that triangle with all their mechanics do a very good job. I'll show you a guy who's one of our players here, if I can find him real quick. He is a player that came from a school. Well, I'll tell you what, here's Matt Tolbert. Matt Tolbert is a professional player. He's got 3 years in. Now watch Matt Tolbert. As soon as his foot hits, let's watch the head. The guys whose head can stay in that circle give themselves the best opportunity to hit. Anytime your head moves forward or down, you have problems. But you notice watch his head when he gets ready. See how close it stays to that circle. Look at that, right there. The same thing if you watch a Mark McGuire or Joe Mauer or Justin Morton. The guys are the better hitters. Their head stays right there. Look at that. And we could show pictures of other guys where their head's out of the circle, or it may start back here and end up way out there. Ready to go. And Matt is now in the big leagues. Been in the big leagues for, you know, a long time. Keeps his head down with a swing. But see, you watch his back hip. See? His front hip stays there. You watch his back hip fire. It's all the back side. Back knee, back shoulder, back hip.
That'd be the same as what they say, keep the front side closed as
long
as you can.
Front side closed. You know, you can also tell, is that if this is called the front door, this is called the front door. Okay, this is the back door. The back door pushes the front door open. Right? So you never talk front side. You always talk back side. And if you see his hip, that's what the hands and back hip go together. Watch. Boom. To make full contact run the money. Look at it. That's a perfect alignment right there. You don't want to change that. Anytime the head and the back knee are aligned and the toe, toe pointing down, a firm front side. That's why Matt Tolbert, along with his great defense, is a professional major league player. And that's why. And that's why this thing, and you go back to the triangle type thing. I mean, you know what? He's in the triangle. He's right there. He's got everything ready to go. So again, that's just what you look for, and this is why the ProMirror is so valuable, is the fact that it shows players themselves what they do, what the better players do, what the guys that, and hitting so hard, but small things turn into big things when you go up the levels and you handle better pitchers and the ball moves a little more. So that's all important, and our job as hitting instructors for all organization is to get guys in the proper alignment, get them linear, and then think their backside rotation, and then try to keep as quiet as possible. And we just put them in the right position. After that, it's up to the blessings of God, and guys with the better eyesight, better hand coordination, quicker bat, it all makes a big difference. So does that answer any questions? Let's turn it again. Okay. Now remember, linear, linear to me is an alignment. The bat, what you don't want the bat to do is, here's a scenario. You want the bat does a little bit of this, and you want the bat, hang on. You want the bat to make as short an arc as possible, right to there, okay? You don't hit down through the ball. Because if you got a pitch coming this way, downhill, and you're trying to intersect that's impossible. That's hard to get. That's like two ships passing in the night. You're not going to do it. Your swing is going to flatten out to be able to hit that pitch coming in there. right? So, and we always say keep the barrel above the hands above the ball. But watch what happens with Joe Mauer here. Watch his contact here. Okay, now see how level his swing is? His swing's level. Back it up. It comes right. Now watch his barrel. It comes right there and level through the ball. Now of course he rotates it. Now when you call rotational, his hips are rotating, and now his bat does rotate over here. Oops, rotate over here because it has to. I mean, that's, you don't rotational hit. If you rotational hit, you give yourself to pull. But this is the greatest example right here. This is 2 years ago. The catcher is setting up inside. You can see where he's setting up because here's the line over here, and here's the catcher setting up over here. Now watch where this ball. This is obviously a slider or a cutter, a ball running way in on the best hitter in the game. Okay. Now watch what Mauer does. He's linear. He keeps his shoulder square. Watch how his hands. Look at that. He pulls them in, pulls them in, pulls them in, and look at that. Look where this catcher's glove is. It's way inside here. Look at that. Look at that. His glove is way inside. This is why Joe Mauer, among many other things, is such a good hitter, is that he takes this ball and does something with it. Look at that. That's probably a base hit. Okay, if you speed it up, watch. Look at that. Now, when he makes contact, okay, when he makes contact, is his barrel below the hands?
Sure.
Sure it is. Here's the barrel right here, right? Here's the barrel right here. Okay. Here's his hands right here. You know, all hitters do that. All hitters, their barrels, I mean, you have to be. But now what Joe does a good job of is watch how he keeps his hands in, and he keeps going. Now he finishes. See? That's why he's one of the best hitters. But in order to teach that, you can't say your barrel's got to be below your hands because guys would try to swing uphill too much. But notice what makes Joe so good is watch. His hands don't move much at all. Let's go back to the head factor. Watch Joe Mauer's head. And watch his hands too. You know, watch this. See his head? Look at his head. Right there. Now see his bat? His bat, once his foot's down, once his